Have you ever noticed how some people seem to age with a certain snap in their step, while others begin to move with a hesitant, heavy gait long before they should? We often look at an aging body and assume the muscles are simply getting small. We talk about getting weak as if our muscles were just rubber bands that have lost their stretch. But modern neuroscience is uncovering a much more haunting reality. Welcome to Dr. Levitas. Muscles are not the masters of your movement. They are merely the slaves of your nervous system. What you are witnessing in an aging or sedentary body isn't just the loss of meat. It is the systematic unplugging of the human machine. Today, we are exploring the hidden electrical grid of your anatomy, why your brain is currently fighting a war to save your muscle fibers, and how you can use heavy, explosive force to keep your internal lights on. Please take a second to like the video and leave a comment. Your engagement is a huge help to the channel. To understand why we lose our vitality, we have to look at the point of impact. What happens physiologically when the motor nerve connecting your spinal cord to your muscle fiber suddenly dies? Every single movement you make is an electrical event. Your spinal cord houses specialized cells called alpha motor neurons. Think of these as the power stations. They send long, thin wires, axons, out to your muscles. The point where the wire meets the muscle is called the neuromuscular junction. When a signal arrives, it releases a chemical called acetylcholine, which tells the muscle to contract. But here is the terrifying part: these nerves are incredibly delicate. Due to oxidative stress, lack of use, or the natural wear and tear of time, these motor neurons can undergo apoptosis, cell death. When that specific nerve dies, the electrical connection is severed instantly. The muscle fiber is now denervated. It is sitting there, perfectly capable of working, but it can no longer hear the command from the brain. It is like a light bulb in a house where the wire has been cut. No matter how many times you flip the switch in your mind, that fiber stays dark. Within days, that orphaned fiber begins to shrink, and if the connection isn't restored, it will eventually disappear forever. We have been taught to view sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass, as a nutritional or hormonal problem. But what if we've been looking at the wrong culprit? Why is sarcopenia fundamentally a loss of the electrical wiring, not just the muscle tissue? Recent evidence-based research, including a landmark 2024 review in Nature Reviews Neuroscience, suggests that the unplugging of muscle fibers precedes the actual loss of the muscle itself. In a young, healthy body, one motor neuron might control 100 muscle fibers. As we age, we start losing these motor neurons at an alarming rate, up to 1% per year starting in our 40s. This means sarcopenia is actually a neurogenic disease. The muscle wastes away because it is no longer being fed by electrical impulses. When a muscle fiber is denervated, it loses its trophic support, the chemical nutrients the nerve provides to keep the muscle alive. You can eat all the protein in the world, but if the electrical wire is dead, the protein has nowhere to go. We are finding that the old person shuffle isn't a lack of muscle strength. It is a lack of motor units available to be recruited. Your biological battery is still there, but your wiring harness is fraying. The human body is incredibly resilient and does not go down without a fight. How do surviving nerves attempt to rescue orphaned muscle fibers by branching out and taking them over? When a motor neuron dies, the muscle fibers it once controlled are left in the dark. These orphaned fibers actually send out a chemical SOS signal into the surrounding tissue. Nearby, healthy motor neurons hear this signal. In a desperate attempt to save the tissue, the healthy nerve will grow a new branch, a process called collateral sprouting. The healthy nerve re-innervates the orphaned fiber, effectively taking it under its wing. It's a beautiful biological rescue mission. However, there is a catch. That healthy nerve was already busy managing its own 100 fibers. Now, it's managing 150 or 200. This is called motor unit remodeling. While this process prevents the muscle fiber from dying immediately, it creates a massive compromise in how your body functions. You have saved the muscle, but you have fundamentally changed the resolution of your movement. This biological rewiring keeps us moving, but it comes with a steep physiological price. Why does this process make your muscles slower, significantly clumsier, and much more prone to fatigue? Imagine your muscle is like a digital screen. In your youth, you have high resolution, many small motor neurons controlling just a few fibers each. This allows for incredibly fine, precise, and fast movements. But when nerves die and the survivors take over the orphans, the motor units become massive and clunky. Instead of a surgeon's scalpel, your brain is now forced to use a sledgehammer. Because one nerve is now controlling way too many fibers, your fine motor control vanishes. This is why aging is associated with a loss of balance and dexterity. Furthermore, because these giant motor units are overworked, they fatigue much faster. You find yourself getting tired doing simple tasks because your nervous system has to fire a massive, inefficient motor unit just to pick up a coffee cup. You are moving with low resolution, and every movement requires more electrical bandwidth than it used to. If the nerves are dying because they aren't being asked to work, we had to change the request. How does heavy, explosive lifting physically force the nervous system to keep these vital electrical connections alive? The size principle of muscle recruitment states that your body only uses its biggest, most powerful motor neurons when it absolutely has to, during heavy loads or high-speed movements. These are the fast-twitch motor units, and they are the first ones to be pruned and killed off as we age because we rarely use them in modern life. When you lift a heavy weight, or better yet, when you move a moderate weight with explosive intent, you are sending a high-voltage electrical signal from your brain that shouts at those high-threshold nerves. This intense electrical activity triggers the release of nerve growth factor and brain-derived neurotrophic factor. A 2023 study in the Journal of Applied Physiology showed that seniors who engaged in power training, moving quickly, retained significantly more motor neurons than those who only did slow walking. You are essentially telling your spinal cord, do not unplug these wires. I am still using them for high-performance tasks. Explosive movement is the maintenance crew for your internal wiring. Electricity is only useful if it stays inside the wire. What is the critical role of vitamin B12 in maintaining the myelin sheath insulation of these motor nerves? Your motor neurons are wrapped in a fatty substance called myelin. This insulation allows electrical signals to travel at speeds of up to 200 miles per hour. Without myelin, the signal leaks out, slows down, or never reaches the muscle at all. This is exactly what happens in neurodegenerative diseases, but it also happens during normal aging if your nutrition is lacking. Vitamin B12 is the primary building block for the synthesis and maintenance of myelin. As we age, our stomach acid decreases, making it harder to absorb B12 from meat and eggs. A 2025 clinical consensus in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience noted that subclinical B12 deficiency is a major, hidden driver of denervation and muscle wasting. If you don't have enough B12, your insulation thins out, your wires short-circuit, and the motor neuron eventually withers and dies. Supplementing with a bioavailable form like methylcobalamin is like applying a fresh coat of high-grade insulation to your body's electrical grid, ensuring the signal from your brain stays fast and clear. Finally, the million-dollar question: can you actually regenerate dead motor neurons through biohacking, or is prevention through heavy lifting the only cure? For a long time, the dogma in medicine was that you are born with all the neurons you'll ever have, and once they're gone, they're gone. We now know that's not entirely true, a concept called neurogenesis. However, regenerating a motor neuron that travels all the way from your spine to your big toe is a monumental task for the body. While certain biohacks like lion's mane mushroom, omega-3s, and red light therapy show promise in supporting nerve health and repair. The gold standard remains prevention through loading. A study from 2024 published in The Lancet Healthy Longevity found that the most youthful nervous systems belong to those who never stop challenging their motor units with resistance training. You cannot easily regrow a dead power station, but you can absolutely prevent the rolling blackouts of aging by keeping your current stations active and under high demand. Your best biohack is a barbell and the intent to move it with speed. Here is the doctor's verdict: respect the wiring. We spend so much time worrying about the look of our muscles, but we forget about the life inside them. Your body is a stunningly complex electrical masterpiece, and you are the operator of the grid. The hesitation in your movement isn't an inevitability, it is a signal that your wiring needs attention. Don't let your internal lights go out. Feed your nerves the B12 and healthy fats they need to stay insulated. Most importantly, give your brain a reason to keep the power on. Lift heavy, move with purpose, and demand that your motor neurons stay plugged in. You have the power to stay fast, stay precise, and stay electrified for the rest of your life. I want to hear from you. What is your favorite way to move with intent and power? Let's start the conversation in the comments below. Stay sharp, stay resilient, and I'll see you in the next one. Watch this video suggestion, it was especially picked for you. Please share, comment, like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Thank you, it helps a ton with the algorithm. Remain tuned for future videos and keep growing.